Hello everyone, we're back with more Top Cat action. We got Two Moons, who was just playing at midnight last night. Managed to win a long one against Sobek's Bosk. Now here to face against a more aggressive deck here in Vika's Anakin Blue. I'm just getting the word out about the stream here. All right. Here's where we are. This is the top 8, first match of the top 8. We got some pretty interesting decks here, and these both are really interesting to me. I'm really excited to see how this one goes. I'm honestly not sure not sure who would even be favored here. But it's sure to be an interesting one. So are the others. And here are the deck lists if you want to take a look at them. If you want to at any time, you can also just go in the description and check out the Substack link where we've got all the lists. But this is this is Two Moon's list. I'm here for the Barris. Yeah, I'm excited to see this one. We didn't get to see the Barris really get used in the match last night. But Barris, there's some interesting plays you can do with Barris, like player Shielder, then turn 2 play General's Blade and start ramping. Oh. Sorry about that. Bumped my microphone. But this deck has got a lot of stuff that can help you go long. All right, and let's take a look at Vika's list here. This is, it's blue-red, running a lot of the best stuff in both colors. Not as much late-game stuff as like a Han blue deck, but you don't need as much because Anakin is just a menace himself. And it looks like they should be starting soon. So here we go. Oh, looks like we're still having issues with TTS. All right. I don't know what the issue is here. Sorry for the wait, everyone. All right, looks like we're going to get started. And Two Moons is going to get initiative. Thanks, everyone, for joining. This is top 8. Does the stream title say top 16? Or did I change it? Its stream title does say top 16. Let's see. Can I change the title? Top 8. There we go. Boom. Oh, shoot. All right, double Force Throw for Vika. That one's pretty interesting. He gets the Queel as an opener. I'm not sure how many hits are in there for Queel, but I think there's a good amount. Vika using 4-star? Yep. Indeed. If you want to take a look at the full list, again, they're linked in the description. Two Moons is going to start us off. No Barris, but Battlefield Marine. And that poses a difficult question for Vika, because if he plays this Queel, the Marine just eats it. He is going to play it, though. All right. All right, looks like Two Moons is still having TTS issues, but he's going to stick it out. So Two Moons leave the room and come back, see if that fixes issues. Apparently he can't see any of the cards here. Sometimes that is just solved by going out and then back in. And here he is, back again. All right, and it's fixed. Awesome. And Two Moons is going to claim here. Hugh Yang picked up. That's interesting. But maybe, I don't know if he's the play here or if Village Protectors is. Either one could be pretty solid. Luke's Lightsaber also interesting here for Two Moons in the main deck. Two Moons having a difficult think here. And it's going to be the Ewing. He's actually keeping both 3-drops. Interesting. I guess he doesn't have a 4, so it makes more sense. And yep. Sorry. Here's the Marine. Just going to take out that Queel. Vika is going to answer with a Yoda. And the Hugh Yang makes an appearance here. Keeping that Marine out of Yoda distance. There's the Barris, but too late. Shakti also picked up here for Two Moons. Pretty solid play on 4. Vika gets Val and Razor Crest. Looks like he's going to resource the Razor Crest here. So he has, Val, Force Throw, which he can play all 3 of this turn if he wants. Looks like he's just going to start by using the Anakin to trade into Hugh Yang. And the Yoda actually works perfectly here because it counteracts the the Anakin damage. Anakin, I think, is quite possibly the most underrated leader of set 2. I mean, maybe people are rating him high enough, but he's really good. Two Moons is not actually going for the Shakti play. Just going for Village Protectors here. And now I think we're going to start to see the Force Throw barrage. Boom. And a king, yeah. And so no matter what the discard is here, the Battlefield Marine dies. Two Moons just gives away the Obi. That's interesting. I guess he's really putting a lot of value on that Anakin saber. There goes Marine. And it looks like we're going to see a second shield on those Village Protectors. And that sort of makes the second Force Throw not as great, but it's going to happen anyway. Just to get the discard, I guess. And there goes that Luke saber that Two Moons was trying hard to protect. Vika's got a Poe, which is going to be a big play next turn. Picks up an Luke, as well, which won't be relevant for a little bit. General's Blade is also interesting here, but the Village Protectors is no Jedi. All right, here's a Shakti. No way to answer that immediately, I think. So she should be getting at least one attack off and generate at least one clone trooper. Here is Poe coming down for Vika. Power play, Luke's going to shield the Shakti. And now we'll see if Vika decides to try and trade into this Village Protector, or if he just keeps his units. It looks like he is going to go for the Village Protector here. Loses the Yoda, but Yoda's going to give him a card back. Another Poe. Protectors goes to base, and Val's going to finish him off. And next turn, both these leaders get to flip. Anakin is not really in a position to flip, though. I mean, he could flip, but he'd be just a normal size guy. Luke, on the other hand, there's not a ton of stuff to be gained with a Luke at the moment. I guess you can make him massive with Hueying or General's Blade, but he's not. His shield ability isn't. I guess maybe the shield ability protects the Shakti, but Poe can just trade into the Shakti anyway. So who knows if that's even going to be an issue. All right, Shakti attacks, makes a clone trooper, goes to base. That does trigger the first threshold for Anakin, so he will be 5/7. And there's the trademark Vika. First of the match. I think Vika wants to keep this Poe up because the Poe is threatening to just kill the Luke as soon as he flips. But he also does want to remove the Shakti because she is going to be a threat. And it looks like Poe's just going to go to base. And then clear the shield on the Shakti. That sets up a kill on Shakti with Anakin. Or I guess with just using Anakin and Val. Yep, that's what's going to happen here. So the Val trigger, 2 experience, 3 damage onto that Poe. And there is the General's Blade onto Luke. Making him now a 7-10. Poe can just kill him next turn, so. All right, there's Luke. Luke is actually just going to go into Poe to prevent the kill. But Vika's Luke can come down and then just clear the Luke. So I think that makes sense by 2 Moons. But and Vika's actually going to flip the Anakin early here. Interesting. Didn't expect that. I expected Vika to claim there and play his Luke to kill the opposing Luke. But so I mean, he's just going to be hitting for 5 into base. He could trade leaders now. But I don't know if that puts Vika in a good position. There's another Vika's thinking about this one. This one's a bit longer. Couple M's longer. Oh, good. Okay. And Anakin is just going to trade with Luke. All right. Get some overall damage in. Not how I would have played it, but there is there is a good reason to play it this way. But I'm not convinced that Vika is. I think Vika is probably slightly disfavored in the late game because of things like Home 1. But so I think he needs to rely on big pushes to win. And I think, the way you do that is by saving your Anakin, not saving your Luke. So that's just my theory, but Vika seems to have an idea of what he's doing now. This is one of the reasons why, is because you can play Luke now and clear this clone trooper, whereas before you couldn't do that. And Vika is now just going to start hitting base with his things. And, those are some pretty big top decks here for our 2 Moons. 3 cards you do not want to resource, but you also kind of do want to get to Home 1 this turn. Vika's got a hand of removal, and he's also got a Queel here. All right, 2 Moons is not going to resource, and we're just going to see 7 for something, and it is the U-Wing. There's some pretty solid pickups here. Conquered Dawn Interceptors could maybe wall off the Senatorial Corvette, but it doesn't do a great job of it because Corvette still trades into it. And it looks like it's just going to be Maz and then Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan's solid pickup here. Vika has a hello there, which can answer the Maz, or it could make the Obi-Wan a more favorable trade. Fell the Dragon is dead here. Really don't like the Anakin flip when claim and slam Luke. Yeah. I think Vika's just gonna slow roll this one, see what Toon says with the Kanan, hits the base with the Corvette. Vika's closing in on lethal. With just this Corvette, he's lethal in 2 turns. We gotta remember the Kanan mill here. Yep. K2. All right, that does negate the thing I just said about 2 turns lethal with the Corvette. Or does it? If he uses Anakin both times, it doesn't. But he does now have to use Anakin both times. All right, and there is Luke going into the Obi. And the experience goes to Kanan. Resupply picked up here. I mean, that's just going to be a resource, but it's a free card. Fell the Dragon. Now going to clear that. That would be when it's hello there a 3 or a 4. I can't remember. If it's a 3, it deals with this Maz. Anakin doesn't buff damage space. Oh yeah, that's right. I totally forgot that. All right, there. Yeah, okay. So hello there, I guess, is a 3. Still learning some of these new cards. Vika's in a great position here, despite the little bit of a leader snafu. Not really a snafu. It's just a play that we disagreed with. He's in a great spot here. Although this is the home 1 turn, although it looks like it's not going to be home 1, it's just going to be Luke. Setting up the kill onto Luke. And that's pretty big. Vika doesn't have an immediate answer to it. So he's just going to have to hit the base. And hope he finds something. Vika does have enough health left that he's, he can tank a hit from the Luke without it being a huge problem. Cassian picked up here. That's actually big. Cassian plus the Corvette hitting base is lethal, although the Luke restore is going to negate that. It looks like Cassian might not even be the resource here. It looks like Vika's going to resource the second Queel. All right, Luke's not even going to go to the base. He's just going to take out the Queel. Gets the restore in early. And Corvette is just going to whack that base. And he has enough, Tumans has enough resources to go home 1 and do the Shock Tea from the discard. Which it looks like we're going to see definitely the home 1 and probably the Shock Tea. I'd be surprised if he went for anything else. Or maybe Kanan, I guess. Kanan or Shock Tea. I forgot I had the Kanan in there. One of those two. It's going to be the Kanan. This is looking kind of rough for Vika, but the K2SO might be able to help Vika push the damage that he needs. I think he might just need to claim here, though, and hit early with the Corvette. But even if he does that, kind of hurts. All right, Vika's thinking. Not dropping the just thinking. So if he takes initiative now, he has the option of going Anakin to clear the home one, which is not a bad move. If he doesn't, then he can play these two units that he has, K2 and Queel, which could help him get to the base, but 2 Moons has so much healing. He's got to do the math to figure out if 2 Moons can out-heal him, or if he actually can push lethal here. I think 2 Moons can out-heal him, but that's just my intuition. I'd have to sit here and do the math. And it looks like Vika has come to a decision. He is going to play the K2 here. And 2 Moons has nothing else to do but take initiative, I think. Right? Yeah, he's just going to take initiative. Queel, and are we going to see the Force Throw just for a discard? I doubt it. And nope, we're not. Fell the Dragon, pretty big pickup here. Cassian going into the resource row. I think he's got 2 copies of Cassian in there now. So 2 Moons has 6 health left. He's facing 11 damage here. But he's got 4, 5, 6, 7 healing plus extra from Kanan. And he's got 10 resources. He can block up this ground arena with Obi-Wan. Looks like first things first, he's just going to clear the Corvette. Heal 2. Corvette's going to force the discard. Just going to be this Dispatcher, which does nothing here. 2 Moons also has this Luminar in hand, which can be even more healing. Let's see, Vika can go. One of the plays he has here is like use Anakin on the K2 to clear the Kanan, which does. It'll end up doing 4 to base and also clearing this Kanan. Looks like he's gonna go Queel the base. Interesting. Hits a K2. That's not gonna get picked up. Luke is gonna take out this K2. He's going to heal 4 and take 3 back, so he's going to end up net taking 1. Vika might even might even go for the discard here, just because he doesn't have a way to lethal this turn. It is going to be base though. 2 Moons on 23. I think Two Moons is gonna seal this one up. He's got such a big board state here, so much healing that he can get out of Vika's threats. Vika's got so few resources left. Or so few cards left, sorry. Just he doesn't have a lot of ways to. He doesn't have a lot of reach. I don't believe he's on 4 cause, so yeah. All right, Vika is going to be able to play this Interceptor here, which is a threat. Although actually, it's only 2 right now. It's not even buffed. Kanan is just going to clear the Queel. Heals 2. 1 from the Val, 1 from the Restore granted by home 1. Should be damage there on the cannon. All right, Cassian makes his appearance. Coming up from out of the resource row. Should be did Vika play something else? Oh no, he played the Interceptor. So Cassian comes out, but this Obi-Wan is blocking him off. Even with an Anakin buff, he doesn't get there. Cassian's still going to go for it. Put some damage into that Obi-Wan. But he does have to concede initiative to do that. Which means his home 1 has time to get hit in before being killed by the Interceptor. Home 1 hits the base. Bring Vika up to 15. That actually does turn on the Interceptor's buff. But Vika is almost dead here. All right, he's going to just trade in the Cassian. And where's the Obi? Obi experience is going to Kanan. And that's going to be another card for 2 Moons. Healing Reinforcement, that's a pretty big pickup. And Kanan's going to go to base. And for the first time this game, 2 Moons has taken the damage lead. Yep, got to get that mill from Kanan. Val. Bringing 2 Moons down to just 17. Corvette coming out of hand. I think 2 Moons just has this one. He's going to go 6 to base. Vika's got no way to respond here. So he has to claim. I don't think there's anything in his... Or I guess he's on Obi-Wan. So Obi-Wan would temporarily save him, but not even really. So Vika's just going to call this one, and we're going to game 2. I just realized there were 2 dashes in that little scorecard thing. All right, 2 Moons is up 1. Let's take a look at these deck lists again. If you want to see these at any time, remember they're linked in the description on Substack. But here they are. This is Vika's list. He's got some things for the long game here. He's got Fel the Dragon, Steel Guerrero to pull them out of the deck. Steel could be really interesting in a matchup like this. Although she does have low health, which can be a liability against some of these shielded units. He's also got Fang Fighter to deal with a potential General's Blade. Blue green looking strong. Yeah. After that, the result last night really kind of surprised me. Like it did really well into the Bosk, and it's done really well so far into this Anakin. Let's take a look at Two Moon sideboard here. He's also got some stuff for the longer games. Rivals Fall, Home One, Fell the Dragon, Shadowed Intentions. Shadowed Intentions is a really interesting one in this deck. We saw them, I believe, both get pillaged in the game against Bosk, so they didn't make an appearance, but maybe they will this time. Speaking of pillage, I believe pillage was in Vika's sideboard, so we'll see if that comes in for this matchup. I'm also hoping we get to see the Bearish General's Blade combo this game. People have been talking about that one a lot. Let's take a look at the bracket here while these players are boarding it up. Winner of this one gets to play the winner of Humar and Laulup, which is going to be a matchup of two new leaders, Yoda versus Quinlan Voss. Two Jedi, both with yellow. I believe Humar's top 16 game was not recorded, so we didn't get to see it, but it looks really interesting. I'm excited to see Yoda Yellow in action. He's got the You're My Only Hopes in there. So yeah. Moving on down, we have Ferrix 19 on the new Palpatine with blue here, facing off against Krennic ECL, a deck that got a lot of new stuff from the set 3, but it's an old one. And then we have I'm So Humble on Sabine Green, facing off against Gemma on Maul ECL. Maul is really interesting here. So we got some fun ones in store for the Top Cut, but now it looks like we're getting started with game 2. And no Barris in Two Moon's hand. Vika's hand looks pretty solid. He's got a Queel, which is what you want to see. Two Moons is going to keep this one. You can go for Shielded Maz, which is not bad. Love to see the Jedis. Yeah. Two Moons really won that one on the back of the Jedi. Luke, Kanan, Obi-Wan. And here's a Queel and a Maz. And Maz is going to get shielded up here. General's Blade picked up here, but I don't know if it's going to stay. Hu Yang is a pretty nice play into this Maz. It'll just make a massive shielded Maz here, which is going to be difficult to deal with. Vika, looks like Vika's only played this turn as a Cassian out of hand. He's going to give up a K2 to do that. We see this Steel Guerrera here out of the board. Vika having to decide between her and K2 for next turn. It looks like he might actually just keep both of his options open by resourcing this Luke. I don't know how I feel about that. I think, all right, he does go for the Luke resource. I think Luke is a pretty strategic card in this matchup, so I don't know if that's going to come back to bite Vika, but he does get to keep both these 4s. And we're going to see Cassian. And is it going to be Village Protectors or Hu Yang? Open Hu Yang here is not great because of the Anakin ability, so it's just going to be Village Protectors. Queel is gonna make some work on the protectors. And what's the flip? Oh, Pillage. All right, that's another sideboard card that we know is in there now, but it's not blue. And Maz is going to trade her shield for that Queel. Alliance Dispatcher Resupply picked up. Those are cards you want to see just a little bit earlier than this. But like Resupply actually could be pretty impactful here. Getting the Luke flip early. And Two Moons is going to keep it. Ditching the Hugh Yang. Dispatcher could come out alongside this resupply to further increase the ramp. On Vika's end, he's thinking between the Steela and the Luke, or the K2, sorry. He did pick up another Luke, by the way, to replace the one he resourced. And it looks like he's going to keep K2 and not Steela. Cassian's going to kill that. Protectors, and here's the resupply. And here's the K2. And Two Moons is just going to take initiative without attacking with the Maz. And now we're up to 6 resources for Two Moons, which means he gets to flip Luke. Vika's still on 5. He does have Senatorial Corvette, which is a solid move on 5. And before anything else is just the Luke. Disabling Fangfighter also we see in Vika's hand. That came in out of the board. No General's Blade to deal with, but it's there just in case. So either of these units can answer this Maz. And it's going to be K2 going into... Is it going to be the Maz or is it just going to be base? Alright, he could also Anakin the K2 to go into Maz and get some of that overwhelm damage in. Vika's thinking... In addition to like trying to kill this Maz, he could also try and push damage into Luke. But Luke Saber is in this deck, so you don't want to risk running into that. And it looks like Cassian is just going to take out that Maz. Then we see an Obi-Wan coming down. And Anakin plus K2 actually just deals with this Obi-Wan. And that's what's going to happen. And K2 is going to force a discard. Yeah, okay. So yeah, the discard. So yeah, the discard should happen before the Obi-Wan because Vika, as the active player, gets to choose the order of the triggers. Who's going to choose his K2 to trigger first before the Obi-Wan? And, you know, theoretically, seeing the top card could influence the discard decision. I don't think it would much here, but We'll see if Vika. And Vika is going to say, yeah, shuffle and draw a new one. I don't think we've had anything put in the bottom of the deck, so I don't think it matters if we shuffle. All right, picks up a Village Protectors here. And Luke's just going to go to base. And it looks like we're going to see a Corvette come down. Yep. And next turn, Anakin is ready to flip. Vika's in a decent position here. He's not taking a ton of damage, but he's taking just enough to buff Anakin a little bit. He's got this Corvette here, so he can really start putting pressure on Two Moon's hand. But he is facing down this massive Luke leader from Two Moons. Village Protectors. Just going to come in, clog up that ground arena even more. Vika does have a disabling Fang Fighter, which can just remove the shield and make the protectors a bit less valuable. And then follow it up with a Yoda, which is not a bad move. He also might just want to play this Obi-Wan here. But the Obi-Wan is just going to get eaten by the Luke immediately. It looks like is he just going to flip his Anakin out? So Anakin is going to flip as a 5/7. Luke is in position to just whack him immediately. Maybe Vika's trying to bait him into doing that? I'm not 100% on the rationale here. It's like, so an Anakin hit with 5 plus an Obi-Wan hit with 4, like next turn, does deal with the Luke. So maybe that's what he's going for. That's his theory of how to out this Luke. Two Moons is taking a while to think about what to do in response. It's a very interesting move by Vika. I mean, Two Moons he can play like Fell the Dragon here. Declare the Senatorial Corvette. Maybe he'll do that just to avoid taking the damage. He is going to have to, throw one of these other cards to the wind as well to accomplish that. But if he takes an action to do that now, he's putting his Village Protectors in danger. And he's just going to pass. That's interesting. I wonder if Vika passes in response. That would give him an opportunity to go to, like, have a Luke set up. Looks like he's not going to take that opportunity. He's just going to swing with the Corvette. 2 minutes pass, so Vika got a free action there. From this point, maybe you do just take initiative as Vika. Because you can either, I mean, you could play the Luke first action to kill the protectors, or you could play it on the back end to deal with the Luke leader. It looks like he is going to go for Obi-Wan here. And that threatens to make this Anakin massive. Two moves is going to commit a Yoda here. And now Vika's, he's thinking. Remember that the Luke can replenish the shield on the protectors, so if Vika does, like, you know, crash the Cassian into the shield with the intention of setting up a Luke or an Anakin attack onto the protectors, like, Luke can just clear the Obi-Wan, get the shield back, make that irrelevant. It looks like he's going to go Anakin into the protectors here. And we are going to see that play. Get the shield back. Take the damage onto Luke. Anakin gets experience. And another card. And now Vika takes initiative. So he now has the ability to play proactive Luke here. Which can kill the protectors, or he has the ability to suicide the Cassian into the protectors, knock off the shield, and then set up the Luke play onto Luke. Oh, looks like Timmons drew an extra card. Probably just, you know, shuffle it back in. TTS does let you very easily tell which is the last drawn card, so not a huge problem, I think. All right, this one is going long. I will say I do have a hard out in about 30 minutes. So they better get this one finished up. And it looks like we are going to see the suicide play here. Cassian clears the protectors. And that is going to be a Rival's Fall in response to clear Anakin. It does hurt to see your big leader just taken out like that, but might not be the worst thing for Vika. He's got this this Luke play, which can get him back in. And he still has this Corvette, which is just hammering away at Timoon's life points. Boom. And I think 2 Moons is going to claim here, probably play this Fell the Dragon on the Luke to prevent it from getting any value. So, I mean, 2 Moons is controlling this ground arena pretty tightly. It looks like he's actually going to use an action to attack with the Protectors, which is going to give Vika a chance to do something with this Luke out. All right, but 2 Moons picks up a home 1 here, which is live now. And I think there's another Village Protectors in the discard pile, which is a pretty good pull. If Vika does decide to play this Force Throw, it's going to be a pretty mean one. He might also just want to attack here. We'll see. And it looks like it is going to be the Force Throw. Probably going to hit this cannon, which is enough to kill either of these ground units. And it's going to be the Protectors. Now we'll see if 2 Moons takes the opportunity to fell this Luke, or if he goes for the home 1. Or potentially his own Luke. And it looks like, oh, he's highlighting all his resources. That is going to be the home 1. And just going to pull back the Village Protectors. And Vika's got a lot of counterplays here. He has the ability to take out this home 1 with the Anakin ability. He also has the ability to just fell the dragon it. He's also got this Fang Fighter, which can clear the shield on Protectors. And it looks like it is just going to be the fell against home 1 here. Then that's going to be a whack from the Corvette. And 2 Moons is going to take initiative. And I think, and this Luke is going to survive another round and be able to clear this Protectors. Fang Fighter incoming. Clear the Protectors, and Luke's Restore is going to equalize the health total here. We are in for a long one here. Vika doesn't have anything big in his hand. He's got a bunch of small units. And it looks like he's not even going to resource, just going to stay at 8 here, which I think is respectable. 2 Moons is also going to stay at 8. He's got double Luke here, which is pretty promising. And it looks like he's just going to open a Luke and clear the Fang Fighter. Now Vika does have to answer this Luke like quickly, which the only way to do is with Anakin. Otherwise, that Luke is going to get a shield. But Vika may just say, you know what, I'm the aggro deck, and I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to hit your base. He's humming. Looks like he is just going to use the Anakin to trade Luke's here. That Yoda getting a lot of restore value off. Vika takes the lead back by whacking with this hammerhead. And then he can start committing things to the board. First, it's going to be Steela. He's going to try and pick up a tactic off the top of his deck. And he's got a Felder Dragon. Two guys has a Felder Dragon, actually. Force Throw, is Force Throw a tactic? I don't think it is, but he's going to pick up the Fel either way. Steela does trade into this Yoda here, stat-wise. All right, and there is a Yoda of Vika's own hitting the table. Two does have a Luke, which, I mean, Luke does immediately answer Steela, which is a pretty tempting play. But it's not even going to be that. It's going to be the Fel to take out the Corvette. Interesting. And he's going to lose a Luke's lightsaber to the Corvette. And what's Vika going to do? He could trade with this Yoda, or he could just go to base with the Steela. Or he could, I guess he could trade. He could, Anakin and then kill Yoda with Yoda. And I think that's what he's doing. Yep. Another Luke picked up for 2 moons off the top deck here. And here's Shakti. Shakti is in perfect range to trade with Steela. I'm honestly kind of surprised that it was Shakti and not Kanan that was the play there, because Kanan would survive a Steela attack. Maybe 2 moons is trying to bait Vika into stealing here. Well, I mean, if that was the plan, he did. Steela gonna take some damage and search, and he's gonna pick up a pillage. Pillage is actually massive here, or maybe not massive, but it's a solid play here. Clears one of these Lukes out of hand, which is a strategic card in this matchup. But Vika's got infinite time and 8 resources to do whatever he wants with. And it's going to be Poe plus potentially Val. Not going for the pillage. But he is going for the Val. All right. 2 moons. 2 moons is it looks like going to keep this hand. I guess he does know about the pillage, so that would, to me, that's probably why he's keeping the dispatcher here. In theory, you'd want to resource the dispatcher because you want to go up, and it's not very useful to you. But as a pillage blocker, it's fine. And it looks like we're gonna open with Luminara. All right. And just gonna heal 1. I mean, I'm not sure how I feel about that play. Vika is going to be able to absolutely slam Two Moon's base here. Even though this Luminar is going to be shielded, she's not really doing much. Vika can hit for up to 10 here off of these units if he pitches another card to Poe. Val going to base. Poe also going to base here. Maybe 6. And he looks like he's not going to pitch anything to the Poe. K2 is going to come out here. That's extra damage. Looking at the resource row, I think, is that going to be a Cassian? It is going to be a Cassian. Vika's got just enough resources for it. And that looks like, yeah, Two Moon's already taken 3 damage. So Two Moon's at 26. And I don't know that he's got a way to deal with any of this. He doesn't. So we're going to go to game 3. Wow. This is an absolutely grindy one. Barn burner here. Going into a game 3. We might be on the track to set the record for longest TTI League match ever. A record previously held by Vika, actually, in a match with Hippo. That was about an hour and 20 minutes. We're at an hour and 7. So I guess we can take a look at the deck list one more time. Again, you can take a look at these anytime by just going in the description and clicking the Substack link. This is Two Moon's Luke list. We still have not seen the Barris and the General's Blade play yet, and maybe we will. Maybe we will this game. I'm kind of rooting for it. This is Vika's list. It's pretty interesting. We've seen a lot of the stuff out of the sideboard. Steelers, Pillages, Fang Fighters. I don't think we saw Vigilance last game, but I'm pretty sure the third Fel the Dragon is in there, even if I don't know if we saw it, but hard to tell if you see the third copy of something, you know? And this is Two Moon sideboard. I don't know how much we saw that. We didn't see Shadow Intentions, so maybe they're in there, maybe they're not. I think you'd expect them to be there in a matchup like this, but also maybe not. All right. And we're getting started with game 3 here. We're still on the main screen, right? Oh shoot, is my OBS gonna crash? Please don't say my OBS is gonna crash. Looks like it didn't crash. Okay, that's good. Did my TTS crash though? It's suspiciously quiet. Oh shoot. Okay. Two Moons might not be there. He's his hand's not moving. Sorry, everyone. All right, there we go. All right. General's Blade picked up, but no Barris. Battlefield Marine is a pretty solid opening, though, against this deck, especially going first. Looks like he's just going to resource the General's Blade and the second hello there. Not even going to go for it. All right, and there is the Bat Marine. Last time we saw this play, Vika did open the Queel in addition to this. Like, in response to this, sorry. But we'll see if he does it again. He's thinking about it. And it looks like he is going to play that Queel. Tune's going to take initiative here. Last time we saw Hugh Yang for this Marine, looks like he doesn't have it this turn unless he top decks it. He does not. So, I mean, Village Protectors is a fine follow-up to that play. Yep, and just going to get it out of the way. Kill that Queel. Vika's only play here is Open Fire. So he's just going to pass. And there are the village people. Vika is just going to use this Open Fire. Feels bad. Just use it to deal 1 damage, but it's a fine play here. Marine getting the 2-for-1 early, killing the Queel and eating the Open Fire. Going into 4 resources, Vika's got a K2SO. And Two Moons has a couple of 4-drops that he can play. You can go either Shakti or Kanan. With no damage on the base, I might expect it to be Shakti. And it is Shakti. And there is K2SO. Village Protectors walling him off pretty well. Two Moons is actually just going to take initiative here. Guarantee that Shakti attack. And Vika keeps getting more of the same. He's got resources to play Senatorial Corvette this turn, which has been big for him previously. And Shakti going to go to base, make a token here. And there's no way to immediately deal with her. We could see like a lot of value off the Shakti here. There's the Corvette. And what's the response? The response is going to be Kanan. And wow, Two Moons has a massive ground presence already. Shield going to Kanan. Vika gets the claim off. Vika does have a Obi-Wan in hand, which is pretty big here. And that Protector's going to the base actually gives Vika just enough damage to have a slightly buffed Anakin. Got 100 viewers right now. Thanks everyone for tuning in. If you're just joining us, this is game 3 of the top 8 Take the Initiative Online League. Vika's at the top playing this Anakin deck. 2 Moons at the bottom playing Luke. And K2 is just going to trade here with the Village Protectors. 2 overwhelm damage coming in, and the K2 is going to force a discard, which is going to be that Bat Marine. Both leaders can flip this turn. Both players have an OB1. Shakti is going to attack, generate another Clone Trooper here. Remember that these Clone Troopers are buffed from the Shakti, so they're 3/2s instead of 2/2s. Anakin is going to get flipped up here. And he's going to be met immediately by an OB1. And that OB1 is perhaps going to be met by another OB1. Anakin doesn't have enough attack yet to single-handedly clear this OB1. He has to wait for someone to hit base, but it looks like that's not even going to happen. Just going to play his own OB1. And OB1's going to get matched by a Luke flip. And my guess is there's going to be a hammerhead whack in here. Yep. Luke does have the ability here to shield this Obi-Wan, which could be game altering. Vika has been pretty aggressively flipping his flipping his Anakins these games. And it's come back to bite him. I think it came back to bite him in game 1. I think arguably it was it helped him in game 2. We'll see how it goes in game 3. But 2 Moons now has the capability to clear this Obi-Wan without taking any damage, or without losing any units. He's going to take damage, obviously, but without losing any units. And that hurts. Vika does have a Luke in hand, which can clear the opposing Luke before that lightsaber comes down. But if that lightsaber does come down onto Luke, that is massive, and that's probably the game. All right, Anakin going to, while he can, take off that shield on Obi-Wan. And the Clone Trooper is going to walk into that Obi-Wan. Anakin gets the experience here and a card draw. And Vika's just going to take initiative here. Kanan going to sink his shield and deal the damage to Anakin. That doesn't kill the Anakin. He's going to do it anyway. All right. Hits a Poe. It's going to heal too. All right, and we're going into a new round. Vika's in a precarious position here. No matter what he does, he's going to take a bunch of damage this turn. And he is going to go ahead and kill the Obi-Wan first. Get some overall men. But that's going to be experience to Luke. Another card. And are we just going to see it? Yep, the lightsaber. And that Luke is now going to be nigh unkillable for the rest of this game. 9 attack, 10 health. Right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 attack, 7, 8, 9, 10 health. Yeah, and a shield. Luke is going to come down here. Gets to kill Shakti. But he's going to then just trade for this shield on Luke. Hammer going to be whacking at the base here. All right, we're coming up on a time. I'm going to have to step aside soon. So they better finish this one quick. And I think they might. Vika might just have to call it here. He doesn't have a lot of ways of dealing with this thing. He's got 16 health left. He's facing down 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 plus the Luke. So 8 and 9 is 17. He's facing a lethal, and I don't think he literally has any way of dealing with this. So I think it is just going to be over now. All right, plays a K2. I guess he's just hoping Two Moons doesn't see it. Luke goes to base here. And here's Steela. And that's going to be the game. Steela does damage. Kanan attacks, and that is it. All right, congratulations, Two Moons, for taking this one down. That was, it took a while. Hour 23, just barely set in the record for the longest game. All right, thank you all for tuning in. We're going to be back with more Top Cut action at some point, probably not today, but at some point. I'm excited. Thank you all for tuning in, and remember to take the initiative.